And with Shadows just around the corner, I predict that they'll continue disappointing die-hard fans of the franchise.
Assassin's Creed Shadows for me is just fine. Life might be too short to play a game that's just okay, I guess.
I think this game needed to be a 9 or a 10, and I think it turned out to be a 7.
Assassin's Creed Shadows has had it pretty damn rough, I would say. In regard to criticism, I don't think I've seen a game come under this much fire since probably Cyberpunk. From the string of mediocre releases that modern day Assassin's Creed games tend to be, Ubisoft were under a lot of pressure this time around to make sure Shadows was a slam dunk, and from what I've seen, they failed. The general sentiment so far is that the game is underwhelming when compared to what it needed to be, and from my current 5 hours of gameplay, I'm beginning to understand why. Oh, that's not the kunai button. Oh, he's back up. My biggest complaint at the moment is definitely Shadow's poor performance on PC. While I understand that I'm using older hardware, I can barely pull a steady 30 FPS using this game's lowest settings. Not only do I have everything put to low, but I'm also forced into using AMD FSR, which selectively downgrades my image quality below that of the native resolution. So technically speaking, I'm not even running this game entirely in HD, and yet it still doesn't quite manage a consistent frame rate. At its worst, my image quality can decline to 33% of what it should be, and yet I get constant frame drops, especially in the hideout. What FPS am I running at? 36 frames. Now that's good. That's a good frame rate right there. As if that wasn't bad enough, Assassin's Creed Shadows is rampant with bugs. They still haven't quite polished up the Anvil engine they've been running on for the last decade, with the same ragdoll glitches that we all saw back when Origins was first released. Video games nowadays are so fixated on being prettier or building up vast, detailed worlds for us to play in that they always forget to make sure that the game actually runs properly. Oh yeah. We're back to my favourite part of the game. Let's try and see if it'll work now. Oh. Nope, he's still doing it. He's still doing it. It's a shame because I can tell this game would otherwise be visually industry leading, and the gameplay behind Assassin's Creed Shadows is actually fun. Assassin's Creed Shadows is genuinely fun to play. Bang, you're out of there. Oh, that was cool. It doesn't suffer as much from the same lack of stability that previous games in the franchise are known for, and when the bugs do happen, they're usually just funny rather than frustrating. The side content has so far been more inspired. Pet the dog. That sounds like a good mission. I'm petting the dog. Can I pet the dog? Can I pet the dog? Rather than the usual lackluster Ubisoft copy and paste garbage, with environments that seamlessly immerse you into the iconic feudal Japan era. Dynamic weather effects further envelop you into the thick atmosphere of this game as you wander the countryside, dispatching hostiles with satisfying finishes. There's a fair amount of depth here to the combat where enemies for once actually react to when they get hit, and there's very little ambiguity between when you may or may not be attacked. Previous Assassin's Creed games were nightmarish for multi-way combat, but Shadows has a more intelligent AI that will wait for a fair opening to attack, rather than just overwhelming the player with an unstoppable barrage of moves. The last major thing that I want to discuss in this video is the writing and structure of Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Can you part with a piece of information?
What the fuck? That's robotic as hell. It's pretty bad. Structurally, Shadows is a mess. Jumping across the timeline frequently, you're reset back to basics like 3 times over. At first, you're surviving an invasion. Then, we steal a box. Then, you're almost killed. Predictably, the game kills off our father. No way. I didn't see that coming. Oh, they're gonna badass death scene. Oh no. No. Wait, no, the dad dies? Oh my god, no. I thought the dad was gonna live for the whole game. I thought he was gonna live for the whole game, but he dies? Yeah. Crazy. It's never been done in the game before. Kill off the main character's closest companion and make it like a revenge story. Instead of building momentum from that obvious plot device, we're instead sent back 2 years earlier to be trained on the combat systems that we clearly by this point already know how to use. Then we jump forward again to paint a picture of a fox. For the first optional side mission in this entire game, which should be an opportunity to reward the player for exploring, we're instead sent back in time again to Naori's first invasion, where she needs to relearn for the second time how to use a sword, and then almost dies for the third time.
I wonder if I'll ever be as strong as before. I wonder if it even matters.
You weren't very strong before. You got like one tapped by a guy in the temple and then shot him and just one tapped again. You were pretty weak, to be honest. 4 hours in, the game is still booting you back to the tutorial stage where it teaches you basic shit like, oh, here's that grappling hook you've been using since your first ever mission. By this point, the player definitely knows what they're doing. This, coupled with the at times atrocious voice acting, really hampered my experience.
I would like to know more about this place.
That's the most robotic dialogue I think I've ever seen in my life.